Hello. It's been a few months, and now I'm sitting in my car, looking up at the clouds. It's been quite a blustery day, and I am loving the autumny, how would you say, the drop in temperature firstly, and the lovely breeze. I love the way the clouds are heavy and fluffy, and it's raining and it's a little bit sunny. The sun's trying to shine through. I was driving up to the village that I live nearby. I had to take money out for guys who are working on our house. We're finally getting our doors changed. I haven't been on this podcast for a while because we moved house and life just got very lifey altogether. So I just had a lot on my plate, and I had to just focus on the most important thing. As much as I love doing this podcast and spreading information and as much useful knowledge, I hope it's useful for people. So I was driving to the nearest village and I was listening to a podcast, and as I always do, I literally listen to a lot of podcasts every day, and I have been getting so much information, so much valuable, useful, knowledgeable wisdom from the podcasts I've been listening to, and I'm going to suggest them in the show notes. But one podcast I was listening to today, and I couldn't tell you the name of it off the top of my head, but I'll send it in the show notes. And the guy on the podcast said that, well, firstly, the opposite of love is judgment. And that kind of shocked me a little bit, because you would automatically think that the opposite of love is hate. But he was saying, no, the opposite of love is judgment, because judgment cuts off any further opportunities and obviously puts up barriers, to any further experiences that you might end up loving, or, it closes the doors basically, puts up the bars. And I was like, that makes sense. And then I was thinking, what's the opposite of hate then? And he didn't obviously go on to explain that, but I'm sure, the opposite of hate is also love. But judgment is the root of hate. So if you judge somebody, or judge something, or judge a situation because of an expectation, which is another thing, it only makes sense that you might end up disliking it or not liking it that much, which could also be translated as hate. So yeah, and I was thinking, well, if the root of hate, now this is just my mind going down all alleyways, all possibilities while I'm listening, if our expectations stem from hate, and if the root cause of hate is judgment and expectations, well then, how about we give judgment a break? What if we catch ourselves? Well, I'm going to do this anyway. You can join me, or you there's no obligation. But I like to include we when I'm talking about things. But what if I, and I always do this, is to try to not judge. And if I do catch myself judging, because we are human at the end of the day, I observe myself judging, because there's so many things we can judge, and it's a natural reaction. It's ingrained in us to judge. From the day we were born, we are just judging, because it's the way we've been brought up, it's our family upbringing, it's society, it's social interactions. Judgment is a part of life, really. But can we judge in a different way? Can we observe the way we're judging? Can we say, right, if I judge this, what's this going to lead to? Because this judgment could lead to an expectation, which could lead to a lack of patience. It could lead to a dislike of a situation, which could lead to hatred. So, for example, I'll just give you an example. There are lots of cars passing by as I'm recording this podcast today, because I was like, I need to get into my car and talk, because nobody else is going to listen to me. So I might as well put this on my podcast and tell you my thoughts. So what I'm saying is, I'll give you an example of a time where a friend and I, one of my best friends in the whole entire world, decided that we're not going to, expectations are out the window. So one day, after a lot of kind of disagreements, let's say, or after a lot of arguments, or maybe, unhappiness. When I say unhappiness, I mean just dissatisfaction with the way things might have turned out after a plan. And one day, my friend and I said, let's just throw expectations out the window. Because if we make a plan, and if it doesn't turn out, that's okay. Doesn't matter, let's just throw it all out the window. Now, some of you might be thinking, you have to have some expectations, because your self-worth might be affected here if somebody lets you down and you're like, but if you're both in it, if you're both on the same page, and you obviously you're looking forward to seeing each other, but if something happens, that's okay. No expectations, no judgment, which leads to no dissatisfaction, which leads to no resentment. And obviously we never reached hating each other. I'm so glad. But we kind of discovered that ourselves. So that's a strategy I think works quite well in a relationship anyway. I'm just saying what works for me. So try it out. Try and firstly observe the way you see the world, and just try it out as an experiment if you feel like it. If you don't, that's no problem at all. But this is what I do, and what I've been doing is obviously my number one. I said a long time ago that I'm going to try my best to never judge. And maybe it was because I was judged growing up. Maybe it was because I was bullied. Maybe it was because I wouldn't like to be judged. So I thought that I'm going to try and not judge anyone else. And it's kind of worked the best way possible ever since then. Obviously, sometimes I find myself in a situation where I'm judging, but like, we're all human. So what I reckon, if you're all willing to, now when I say all, I don't know who's listening to this, but I hope some lovely souls are listening to this. Try and observe yourself judging. When I say judging, I mean seeing the world. Be the observer of you and see how you see the world. Like, see what the narrative is inside your mind. And if it's a narrative of, stay to her, stay to him, just a kind of a lucky downy, on-y kind of judgment, just observe yourself. I recommend not being hard on ourselves if we catch ourselves judging. That's okay. It's a human condition. We have been, this is just all a part of our culture, it's been ingrained in us, so it's nothing wrong, but it's just an observation of what we're doing, no judgment. So, we're trying to boost how we feel, not make ourselves feel worse by catching ourselves doing. And what I'm not saying is that judging is wrong. I'm not saying anything is right or wrong here. I'm just saying that. Let me just clarify one thing. I'm not saying that judging somebody is right or wrong. I'm just saying what it can lead to. And there's no judgment here. Oh, did you see that? I was not judging without realizing I wasn't judging. So yeah, nothing is right or wrong here. So we can't be hard on ourselves. We're just being the observer and acknowledging how we react to a situation. So it's literally self-observation. And just see how you feel. See how we feel by looking at that situation, looking at the person or the thing or the situation, or, a plan that didn't work out, or a show or a movie or whatever it is. See how we see it, what kind of judgment, if there is any, and how that judgment makes us feel. Does it make us feel empowered? Does it make us feel love in our heart? Does it make us feel a bit insecure? Is this an authentic reaction? Does this reaction belong to us? Or does this judgment belong to us? Is it really how we really feel? So, this is what I'm going to try for the next week anyway. See how it works out. I'd love for you all to let me know how you get on. So that was one of my deep reflections when I was driving to my nearest village. Another thing that came into my mind was the guy on the podcast was talking about everything in life being a gift. Now, geez, this makes me emotional already, because I was like, oh my God. Now I'm a little bit of an extremist in terms of like being so grateful for everything, because I am. I just turned 40 there the 5th of October, and I went home to Ireland, and well, basically the plan was that my sister and my mum were supposed to come over here to me in Madrid. I live in Madrid. And the plan was for them to come over, and my sister, my mum and myself would go out and whatever. Like I was just going to have a party here in Madrid. That was it. But Ryanair cancelled the flights for no apparent reason at all. It just happened. That's just the way the universe was working. So I booked a flight to go home, and I organised a little party. And lovely friends showed up that I hadn't seen for so long, near and far friends, close and not so close friends, and all of the friends and family, more than I expected, were there. And I was just overwhelmingly grateful. They made a video, they created a frame with 40 things that they loved about me, and I was just overly grateful. Like I don't even have any words. So I'm a person who's generally grateful for little things anyway. And so when I heard this on the podcast of us treating everything as a gift, I was like, well, that's just next level. That is literally the next level up. And then I was thinking, where we had just come back from Edinburgh. So my birthday was on Saturday. We had a little party, friends and family. It was a daytime thing. Then on Sunday we flew to Edinburgh, and then my boyfriend and I think we caught COVID, I'm not sure, We're okay now, but I've creaks all over my neck and I've sores, kind of aches and pains all around my body. And I was driving to the village today, and when I heard that on the radio, treating everything as a gift, I was like, I'm so grateful that I can actually drive. Driving to this village is an actual gift. And it made me so emotional. And I was like, I'm so grateful for this gift of being able to drive to the village, even though I really don't feel like doing this. And then I got so much inspiration. You can call it downloads, you can call it inspiration, you can call it my higher self talking to me, or my guides and my angels, or whoever you want to call it, inspiration. Just got loads of downloads, and I was like, I need to make an episode now because there's so much information coming through that I want to talk about, and nobody will listen to me, only you, whoever's ears are open here right now. So I was like, that's a gift. I was like, I'm so grateful for this wonderful gift of this podcast episode that I'm going to share with people, and hopefully they might be able to turn things in their life into a gift. And when I got home, I went into my house, and the men who were working on my house had just finished putting up the doors, and I was like, oh my god, what a wonderful gift. And then my boyfriend Andres was saying that we had a leak in our house. There was water leaking from outside somewhere, and the man came to fix it, and it was covered under the insurance. And I was like, thank you for this wonderful gift. I'm so grateful. So I'm just like, there are gifts everywhere. Treat everything as a gift. So let's see how that goes for the next week. And it really does lift. It's a spirit lifter. My mood was already lifted the minute I just turned a little thing into a gift, into a gratitude, into such gratefulness. Like, it's a spirit lifter. So if you're looking to lift your spirits and turn a shitty situation into something good, well, just look at it as a gift. And it's hard sometimes. And let's not forget that when we're going through hard times, it's okay to be sad as well. It's okay to be sad. But if we weren't sad and we weren't down in the depths of despair, sometimes we wouldn't realize how good it feels to be grateful and to be happy and to be on the brighter side of things, because that's what life's all about. It's all about duality and the good and the bad and the judgment and the love and the hatred and the kindness. Now, if anybody does any of you know what the opposite of hate is? If it's not love. And the opposite, if this guy on that podcast was saying that the opposite of judgment is love, maybe hate is a synonym of judgment. Yeah, that's probably what it is. But anyway, I'd love to hear all your comments, and I wish you a wonderful week of turning little things into gifts. Because what else can we do, really, in this day and age? In this whirlwind of a world that we love, and which is a gift, absolute gift. Because, as I said before in previous podcasts, the more we lift our spirits, the more we raise our energy and laugh and love, the more the energy of the world will also lift, because we're all connected. We're all connected into the same energetic consciousness. We're all part of each other. Just letting the car pass. So, just remember that not only is it for ourselves and for our own well-being, which obviously comes first. We can't pour from an empty cup, excuse the cliche. we have to take care of ourselves first and make sure that we're feeling good before anyone else can feel good. But it's an automatic reaction. It's an automatic rippling effect that when we're feeling good, everybody all around us feels good. When we're excited, people feel that energy. It's a palpable thing. When you're in love, you can feel somebody else's love. When somebody's in a bad mood, you can feel their bad moodness. When I'm being passive aggressive, I know, and they can feel my passive aggressiveness, even though I try not to be like that anymore. So it's all an energetic thing. And laugh as much as we can, love as much as we can, and dance the absolute shit off that ground like no one's watching. I love you all. Thank you so much for listening. I appreciate your open ears. Please send me any comments, anything at all. And let me know how you get on with treating life and its little moments as gifts, gratitude, and what you think about judgment leading, expectations and judgments leading to hatred. It's absolutely lashing right now. Can you hear that? And what a gift for all the flowers. I just want to say one more thing that came into my mind, and it's something that I've started to do over the last while, and I also heard it on a podcast, or maybe I saw it, I don't know where, but it was a message for me. If you have an urge to do something, do it now. Not later, not tomorrow, not next week, no matter what it is. Literally, this episode for this podcast is in my car. There are dogs in the background and their cars driving up and down. This is nowhere near professional, but that's not what it's for. This podcast is to provide, hopefully, knowledge that might be able to help people, and people may be able to resonate with, or make them feel less lonely, or know that they're not alone, or maybe they might get a few insightful aha moments. You never know. But the objective of it is to not be perfect, but to deliver what I want to deliver. And I needed to do it there and then. I'm so tired of aches and pains all over my body. It's not the ideal situation, but I knew there was a deep inner, what would I say, determination to do it. There's literally a tractor gone past now. I just have to laugh. And you know what? This is actually another lovely, lovely thing that I let go of. Well, I'm still letting go of. And it's control. It's control. Literally, as I said, control. And they's opened the boot, about to put a big bag of wood. And it kind of triggered me. It triggered my nerves. So I literally got challenged by control. Literally the second I said it. What was that trigger all about? What was that trigger? That trigger was, I'm in here doing a podcast in my car. I'd rather he didn't interrupt. But, that's okay. Because no expectations, no judgments, love, release control, go with the flow. So the origin of this was, if you have an urge to do something, be it tell somebody something, call somebody, do something, finish something, clean something, record something, paint something, try something new, buy something, anything that you get an urge to do, That's not, like, I'm not saying that if you're a person who loves online shopping and generally gets urges to buy clothes that they don't need, maybe that's not the thing I'm talking about. But I mean, if there's a voice in your head telling you to do something and you're going to feel good after it. Now, I know buying clothes might help you feel good too, but that's filling an external void. But anyway, you know what I'm saying. Just do it. Make a surprise somebody, call somebody, whatever it is. Tell someone how much you're grateful for them. So it can be anything, like telling somebody you love them, calling them, hugging them, painting a picture, doing something that you've never done before. Whatever deep willingness, deep determination, or that voice in your head is telling you to do, just go and do it. Because if we don't do it, we're going to miss out on these opportunities, these ideas, these little life's gifts, these little opportunities of happiness, these little happiness spaces. Just do it. And that's what I did today. And was also challenged about my control, which I'm trying to release and let go. And I have done, because I think I do have ancestral control. And a mixture of following my internal voice in my head to tell me to do something. You can call it my guides, my higher self, inspiration, whatever resonates with you all. And combined with ancestral healing, just to go a little bit deeper. So there you go. And now the sun's setting, and here's another gift. Thank you.